MindStretcher, a name eminent in the enrichment center industry, a name respected by countless parents and students. Beyond that, MindStretcher has been an academic savior for students, a benevolent institution of learning, but most saliently, a family. I am Naeun Thant, a Year 2 student in Raffles Institution. Immensely grateful for and humbled by the MindStretcher scholarship that I am receiving today, I stand here today to reflect and relive the journey. Back when I first chanced upon MindStretcher in primary 3, I was an immature rambunctious child, not knowing what I wanted out of life. Fast forward to today, as a long-time loyal student at MindStretcher, I am proud to say that I'm incredibly privileged to be part of the MS family, for it has not only empowered me to score better and taught me various life skills, but it has also provided once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for me to develop holistically. However, the fundamental mechanism that runs MindStretcher, the fervent educators, should not be disregarded. Each and every one of my MindStretcher teachers have contributed to laying the foundation of the stage I stand on today. And it is crucial to recognize these very educators who have led to me receiving this prestigious scholarship. Back then, I didn't know how MindStretcher would exactly impact my life. I was an ordinary primary 3 student studying in Yuhua Primary School. I remember vividly the day I stepped into class at Grand Tro Mall West Campus that Wednesday as a 12th student. Mr. Zeha, or Mr. Z as we affectionately call him, was my teacher for the day. And by the end of that lesson, I was transfixed. And that marked the start of my beautiful journey of inspiration, motivation, and success with MindStretcher education. An excellent teacher, Mr. Z helped me to grasp science concepts with absolute ease while making classes convivial and engaging. Unsurprisingly, that year, I aced science. As a cliched PSLE composition would cutely put it, my elation could not be expressed. In primary 4, I continued taking science classes, and that was when I was blessed with another world-class educator, Mr. Alvin Wee, whom I've stayed with all the way until the first half of primary 5. Mr. Alvin's teaching was sublime, quintessential, excellent. He fostered a character change in me by inspiring me to become more mature and strengthening my interest in science. Alas, I lost him as my teacher when the pandemic hit our shores, as my parents did not want me to send me to a physical class when the virus was still prevalent after the lockdown. It was also around this time when I started enrolling in MindStretcher's higher Chinese classes. My teacher that year was Zhang Laoshi. I still remember him evocatively. His lessons were always enjoyable and fascinating, as he employed a plethora of novel ideas to conduct classes in the most effective manner possible. His encouraging and positive vibe enabled the whole class to perform better in the language. And I have him to thank for starting my journey in 学会了. A new paragraph began as primary 6 rolled around the corner. For science, the teacher who next taught me was Mr. Kelvin Lim, another teacher whom I have immense respect and gratitude toward. He was different in the sense that he was more chill and relaxed in his pace, and I embraced the change. Science classes were never stressful, and that really helped me through primary 6. I achieved another milestone with MindStretcher that year, for it marked the start of me taking all 4 subjects at this enrichment center. My primary 6 English educator was delightfully exceptional. Her name is Mrs. Ray, and her vocabulary sessions, which we capitalized on the fun by doodling on her board, her concise and effective teaching, humorous and affable personality, all culminated in me improving significantly in the English language, and empowered me to expand my vocabulary repertoire significantly. Meanwhile, Miss Joanna took me for mathematics in primary 6, and she's one who went the extra 2, 3, and 4 miles to help my class ace math. In addition to her sterling teaching, she launched an initiative called Small Group Consultations, where we could ask her any mathematical questions that we needed guidance in, even if they were outside of MindStretcher's syllabus. Such assistance was pivotal in helping her class score exemplarily in the PSLE. Lastly, for high Chinese, Madam Su Lian took my class for the majority of the year. She was a key figure in letting her entire class, despite it being small, de-stress when the pressure of PSLE started taking its toll on us. Her insightful life stories, bite-sized life advice, and thoughts, though seeming rudimentary, were all chief players in enabling her to achieve her goals of creating a friendly and positive class environment. This, when mixed with her wisdom and passionate teaching, cooked up a potent dish that we savored with nostalgia when our class graduated. Flip over the page for a new chapter awaits. Since secondary 1, I have been under Mrs. Tang and Mrs. Shang for science and English respectively. and boy do they epitomize teaching. Their humor and exquisite teaching eccentrically break the mundanity and humdrum nature of school subjects. Mrs. Tang's life anecdotes and whimsical humor, coupled with Mrs. Shum's masterful nagging, have become inseparable parts of their respective classes, and I hold those unique traits dear to my heart. They hands down helped me to develop my understanding and interest in those subjects, and smoothened my transition into Raffles. Unfortunately, not all my teachers remained the same. For instance, my high Chinese teachers changed from year 1 to year 2, from Wu Lao Shi to Tang Lao Shi. Both of them embodied excellence as well, and were crucial to helping me do better than I expected for higher Chinese in RI. They prioritized class interaction and student engagement, and that distinguished them from ordinary teachers, which I appreciated thoroughly. Of course, I can't forget my math teachers. In year 1, I was under the astute guidance of Miss Wong. Though a part-time teacher, she was very chill and taught the questions in a fun and effective manner. Same thing applies to my current maths teacher at West Campus, Mr. Gerard, who utilizes various techniques to help the entire class of various schools to improve collectively and interact with the students actively as well. Then another individual came into my life, and this man transformed me, enlightened me, guided me, loved me, supported me, educated me, changed me, you name it, like no other. This man is none other than Mr. Alvin Kwek. If not for his tips and advice, I really wonder if my life would be as thrilling and successful. Effectively acting as my second English teacher in Mindstretcher, Mr. Alvin imbued the importance of being able to speak and write well in me. In addition to my Mindstretcher teachers like Mrs. Tang, Mrs. Sham, Wu Lao Shi, Tang Lao Shi, etc., Mr. Alvin cares deeply about my well-being in RI and actively finds ways for me to cope better. He truly plays an integral role in where I am today. All in all, my teachers at Mindstretcher have been nothing short of the best and have all contributed to where I'm standing today. I'm restricted to a mere stage for me to share my stories and sentiments, but my gratitude goes far beyond, as hackneyed as it may sound. My educators in MS have definitely made me feel more belonged in the close-knit Mindstretcher family. They have tirelessly laid the foundation for the stage upon which I stand to receive my scholarship, and I'm forever thankful for their efforts and belief in me. They have served as my motivation and drive, and with this scholarship, I'll work even harder to do justice to the invaluable time and effort my educators have put in for me. If there's one thing I've garnered in the modern educational context, it is that holistic education is paramount to success. In school, I'm in the Raffles Debaters and Raffles Archives and Museums CCAs, and in my 2 years there, they have certainly heightened my passion in RI history and speaking, and allowed me to develop my talent in a conducive and accelerating manner. Moreover, I actively take up leadership roles in RI as I fervently want to serve the school and bring it to greater heights. My desire to serve extends to Mindstretcher as well. Now, I will be helming the soon-to-be-launched Mindstretcher Toastmasters Gavel Club, a speaking club for students in Mindstretcher, taking on the role as its first president. I'm definitely looking forward to the experiences I will undergo and hope I can lead it to great heights as well. Valuable opportunities like this have enriched my learning, and I'm forever indebted to Mindstretcher for it. I'd just like to end this scholarship acceptance speech on an encouraging note for my juniors and fellow prize awardees. If you're meeting your expectations in school, congratulations! Do not become complacent and continue to strive for excellence. If you're not, don't worry, scores don't define you. Push on with your academic pursuits and never bow down to stress. Pay attention in class, take notes, and most importantly, don't overexert yourself. Find time to pursue your passions, and really, just take it easy. To Mindstretcher, thank you for giving all students a conducive environment to grow and endeavor. Thank you for providing excellent materials to aid in our learning. Thank you for bringing not just me, but all students to greater heights. Thank you for making me feel belonged. As I listen to Imagine Dragons' hit song Birds while crafting the speech, I am struck by how far we've all come in our academic pursuits. With each word, clause, sentence, paragraph, and chapter, we have grown and welcomed the plethora of concatenated changes that life has introduced to us. May we continue to do so for years and eons to come. Let your respective awards spur you, motivate you, and push you to try harder. To quote Linkin Park's lead singer, the late Chester Bennington's words, "When life leaves us blind, love keeps us kind." Let that quote guide you, as it has inspired me to be a humble and thankful individual. I'm Naewin Tant, and to everyone, stay hungry and stay foolish. Thank you so much.